Hey there, Wargamers. Welcome back to another Wargames Delivered video. In this video, we'll be showing you how to paint the Imperial Japanese Army using the Speedpaint 2.0 line. Starting off with the uniform color, we're going to use a 1-to-1 ratio of Charming Chartreuse and Ochre Clay. And we'll be using this mixture on the entirety of the uniforms and the helmets as well. And in this video, we're going to be showing off the unique weapon options to the Japanese Army. And you can also use this color on the light mortar. As you can see in this shot here, I'm trying to avoid the straps that go across the chest and the back of the miniatures. We're going to be covering those up with a different color later on. And the color that we're going to be using for the straps is a bit darker, so it will stain over this color in case you do make any mistakes. You don't really need to clean those up with white, but you can if you would like to. There are two variations of helmets in this army, one with nets and one without. We'll be using the same color for both of them. For the soldier with the light machine gun, we're going to be just using Ochre Clay to cover up the soft cap. Once that step is finished off, we're going to switch over to our base coating color, which was matte white from the Fanatic line. We're going to use this to cover up any mistakes that we made with the previous step. Just as a good rule of thumb, it's always good to have a bit of this color, whatever your base coat color is, on your palette for any cleaning along the process. Up next, we're switching over to burnt moss for the straps around the boots here. And on our light machine gun soldier, he also has a flask on his back. We'll want to cover that with this color as well. This is a bit of a darker gray-green, and it will stain the uniform color if you get it on there, so just be careful around the areas that are touching close to the uniform. Up next, we're going to switch over to our skin tone using Peachy Flesh for all of the exposed skin parts on the miniatures, mainly just the hands and the faces. With the soldier using the lunge mine, you may have a bit of runoff onto the pole of this weapon from the skin tone, so just keep that in mind. Go back to your white tone if you need to do any covering up. Now we're going to paint the straps, belts, and pouches, and also the boots with dark tone, using this as our nice medium brown. Once again, this is a bit of a darker speed paint, so just keep that in mind while you're working with this color. If you do make any mistakes on any of the areas that we've already painted, just go ahead and cover it back up with the matte white, wait for that to dry, and then go back to the speed paint color that you need to fix it. As always, if you're interested in trying out any of the paints or miniatures used in this video, be sure to visit us over at Amazon.com or at wargamesdelivered.com. There will be a link to our link tree in the description below. And as you can see, the dark wood goes over the uniform color that we did earlier very nicely. So if you do need to make any corrections with this color over the uniform, you don't really need to go back to matte white unless you really want to. We'll also be using this color to paint the rifle on his back. And for the lunge mine, we're going to switch over to pallid bone. We're going to use this to paint the entirety of the pole of the lunge mine. Once that's finished, we're going to switch over to the Warpaint Fanatic line for just a moment here. Switching over to matte black, we're going to use this to paint all of the bayonet holsters, as well as the lunge mine, and we're also going to use this to add some details on the guns. As with all acrylics, you will want 2 thin coats to get a nice even coverage of this color, especially going over the white areas. We'll also use this color on the more round top half of the rifle, as well as the trigger. And as you can see with this color and the Fanatics in general, I switched over to a smaller brush just to give me a bit more control around those speed paint areas. Moving on to the light machine gun, you'll want to paint the entirety of the gun with this color. We will be moving on to a metallic in the next step to add a bit more detail on these guns. Sorry guys, I forgot to put the next paint on the palette here, but we are switching over to Necrotic Flesh for all of the nets on the helmets, as well as the straps holding up the helmets. Just try to be very careful around the speed paint areas in the recess areas because we want that showing through. If you do make any mistakes, just kind of go back over it with the speed paint and then relayer with the Necrotic Flesh. Like our previous acrylic step, you'll want to do 2 thin coats here just to get a nice even color across the nets on the helmet. Lastly, we're going to brighten up all the metallic details using plate mill metal and a very small dry brush. We're going to use this on all of the areas that we just painted black, mainly the guns and the lunge mine. And this will leave you with a nice gunmetal finish on all of your weapons. Once you're finished with this step, go ahead and base your soldiers in whatever theme you're using for the rest of your army, and your Japanese Imperial soldiers are ready to take to the battlefield. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out the links in the description if you're interested in any of the products or paints used in this video, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye!